God.
Yeah, this is hard.
All right.
This is hard.
I don't understand. I mean, I'm the one who decides who reviews what on this goddamn show, and this is the second time in a row I've given myself a Zelda game.
It's tough. It's like you've got that friend that you love, but then you've been hanging out with him lately, and you're like, you're a drunk, and your jokes aren't funny anymore.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Loading Bar. We're going to talk about Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword today, and who are we? Well, we are Jason the Murphy.
Howdy.
And Kevin Captain Sassy Baird.
Me and my loft wing, ready to go.
Oh, God, he knows the lingo. I just said stupid bird, I think was the way that I referred to it throughout the game. I was like, you stupid bird! I said go down!
Yeah, likewise. I even though they said loft wing about 500 damn times, I was still like, oh, the goddamn bird.
Okay. All right, so I'd like to start by getting this out of the way up front, all right? Because we had recorded a little video for the website, Corey, Jason, and I playing Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. And we spent a lot of time bitching about how much goddamn dead time there is in the beginning of this game.
Oh, yeah, it's horrible.
It is just awful. And there were plenty of people out there in the comments whose response to that was, well, every Zelda game's got a slow start. All the Zelda games start real slow.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they don't.
The answer is no, yes. That's not confusing at all. The answer is no. They do not. I mean, yeah, the first couple of Zelda games start, bam. It's dangerous to go alone. Here, take this. Boom.
Yeah, here's a sword. Go kill shit. Find the girl. Go.
But what I would like to say to these people is that even if you have to have a slow start, this game, this motherfucking game, there is no reason why I shouldn't be able to set the text display speed on those little boxes to fast.
You ain't kidding.
And skip the fuck over them if I don't care about Groose or Zelda
or the goddess or the festival or whatever.
Heihachi or any of the other people in this game.
Yeah. Where's the setting that makes everyone else to shut their damn mouth? Take a cue from Link and stop talking so much.
Oh, you know what? The biggest travesty is that this game has Master Quest, like old Zelda. So when you finish the game, you can start back over again and everything gets twice as hard as it was before. But when you start the game over, at any point in time, you can hit 2 to skip a cutscene. So you don't actually have to sit through all that shit the second time around. But why could you do that the first time around?
Right.
Sorry, this game gave me an aneurysm. So anyway, gentlemen, what do you think? Talk to me about Zelda. What were your experiences?
Skyward bored. To quote a friend of mine, which I think is very apt. I didn't like it. I didn't care for it. And I was a big champion of this game before it came out. I was all excited. Ooh, new Zelda game. Mm-hmm. But it's just the same old shit. It's just, clunky controls on the Wii, graphics that are really starting to show their age and the weakness of the Wii. And I know graphics aren't supposed to be what's important on the Wii. They're not. That's fine. But they are important on an adventure game where there are these sweeping vistas and everything. Mm-hmm. But kludgy controls, a lot of yammering, takes too long to get going, and it's just not fun. I found myself, after playing it for hours, every time I picked it up, I was just like, shit, more of this. I was never, ever looking forward to playing it. It always felt like a chore.
Mm-hmm. Kevin?
Yeah, you see the previews of this, and you think to yourself, they're like, it's going to be darker and for a Zelda and stuff, and I go into it and I'm thinking, all right, this is going to be a new experience. It is the same thing. I mean, it's Zelda again. Look, it's like I don't go back and watch Sesame Street anymore. I've outgrown it. And I feel that way about the Zelda games. These storylines are so childish and so for little kids, and there's these protectors on the internet that just want to tell me that I'm wrong, but I can't tell you how boring this is and how much I wanted to go back to Skyrim every minute I played it.
It's the sacred cow. Zelda is, well, you don't talk about Zelda. I will not stand for that, sir. No, fuck Zelda.
Well,
fuck Zelda. Your cred is over.
I do have to say that
your loading bar privileges are done. I don't want to see you in this town again unless you come back with some new shit.
I do have to say that anybody out there who says that this is not a game for children, that this is a game for all ages or whatever, if that's the case, then the game needs to stop treating me like I'm 8 years old.
Right.
There was a point in the game where you're trying to find Zelda. The first third of the game is trying to find Zelda. The second third of the game is going back to the places in the first third of the game. The last third of the game is going back to those same places a third time. Like, whatever. It's Zelda. You do that shit over and over again. I'm not going to harp on that too much, but there was a place in the beginning of the game where you're looking for Zelda, and you're talking to this dude who pops up out of the ground. He says, I saw this yellow-haired girl, and she went that way. And you go, cool. And then as soon as you're done with that conversation, that auto-tune bitch jumps out of your sword and says, hey, do you know who that guy was talking about? And the answers are, I don't have any idea. And, well, Zelda? And so you say Zelda, and she's like, yeah, that's right. It's like, what? Game, I'm not mentally handicapped.
Yeah. This ain't my first rodeo, bitch. Get back in the sword and shut up.
Yeah, exactly.
I know there are monsters in here.
Yeah, it's not like any of that like selection tree on any of those dialogue conversations is really going to like change up the story or something in the game. They're all mostly probably going to give you the same answers anyway. It feels so dumbed down all the time. I just. And the things you find, like hearts and gems and things, it's just, it's like, can't this game just evolve into something more than what it is? It's so bad in ways that, everybody's going to tell me you're good and make me feel guilty like I don't understand. I think I do. I think I've played enough of these to know that I'm not having fun while I'm playing these games. I'm not.
I tell you, every time I saw those dialogue trees, for some reason, I would instinctually gravitate down towards the right-hand corner because I was trying to pick the dialogue option on the Mass Effect wheel. That's the asshole shepherd option where he's like, fuck you guys, I'm out of here. I mean, it should be noted that one of the biggest problems that at least I had with this game was the controls. And this is going to really be a divisive point amongst people playing this game. This is... And I'm not this is the first Wii game that I've ever played from start to finish. I went and bought a Wii just for this. And
wow,
you want to review video games, you need to have all the consoles. Now I have all the consoles. So I got this game, and to be honest, this is a very, very, very good implementation of motion controls in a video game.
I agree.
Like, there's a 1-to-1 ratio with, like, you swing the Wiimote, you Wiimote and nunchuck, and you swing the Wiimote, and that's exactly where your sword swings on the screen, vertical, horizontal, and all the enemies in the game have either vertical or horizontal bent to them, so you've got to hit them a certain way. You use the nunchuck as your shield, you can hold it up, so it's like you've got a sword and a shield in your hand. Works very well, except I don't have any desire to play through a video game like that. If I wanted to hit stuff with a sword and a shield, I'd buy a sword and a shield and go outside and hit pedestrians with it. Absolutely no interest in standing in the middle of my living room, scaring the shit out of my dog like a dumbass, waving my arms around for this game is like 30 hours long. I was getting physically exhausted while I was playing it.
Yeah, and then there's the predictability of it. Just like, I wonder where I'm going now. I bet it's the Fire Temple. Fire Temple. Great. Haven't heard this story once a year for the past 20 fucking years.
I said that when the game first came up when I was playing it. My sister was over at my house and was playing through the woods, and I said, I'll bet you what's next is either a desert or a mountain. And it was like, Fire Mountain. Like, yep. I bet the third area's got to be a desert.
It's almost like it's just this generator. It's like they've got all the Zelda tropes in there, and they just shake it up, and then the machine just spits them out.
Back to what I was saying before about the controls, though, but if you're a fan of motion controls, if you're not the sort of person who knows how to use all 25 buttons on a modern gamepad and the 2 analog sticks and all that shit, Like, I could see where this would be right up your alley. Like, if you had not ever played a Zelda game before and you were primarily playing on the Nintendo Wii and you like those controls, I can totally see this is a great implementation of that. Unfortunately, until I finally got over my issues, which ended up being like the last 6 hours of the game, it was just incredibly frustrating the entire time. And it broke that horrible rule that I one of my own personal problems where I know exactly what I want to do. I know exactly what I'm supposed to do, but because of the controls, I can't do it. I keep running into a wall or falling off a cliff or throwing the wrong way or whatever.
Yeah, I think the problem is that while it makes it so like, you know, you're swinging a sword and it's accurate and it works really well in that way, it doesn't really make it better. You know, it's like they didn't do something to which I feel like it's more entertaining to do it that way over just pressing the button, you know, and rolling around or something and fighting that way. I find a lot of times that the camera and the button repositioning and everything just ended up being sometimes confusing, like when he's going to jump and when he's not going to jump. And I don't know. I just felt like, how is this better? How is this a better experience for me playing this game? I wish they would just be somewhat more innovative. You know, the flying stuff's okay, but I don't know. I mean, maybe this is why Nintendo's going to go with this Wii U thing now and sort of abandon motion control, because they've looked at each other and go, well, I got nothing.
Yeah. Well, and then the sword fighting, like when you're going up to the moblins or whatever, it's like rock, paper, scissors. It's like, okay, do I go up or horizontal slice, or do I spin around? I did vertical. Oh, you blocked it. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, I'm going to try horizontal this time. Oh, you blocked it again. Good one. Okay, I'm going to try horizontal again. Oh, gotcha. Didn't see me doing it twice, did you? Okay.
Yeah, I think the problem with it is that, you know, since you actually physically have to go in one of those directions, it's like you're holding your arm out to the side to do horizontal, and you see that the enemy is blocking horizontal. So you're like, oh, I guess I need to go vertical. And the enemies are pretty fast in certain sections of this game, so you whip your hand up above your head to move your sword to vertical, and the system interprets that as a diagonal slice, which hits the block, resets the enemy back to, you know, a neutral position again, and suddenly you've got to do this all over again. There were fights with those plant monsters in the very beginning of the game that took me like 10 minutes in the middle of my living room trying to be like, okay, I'm vertical, he's still horizontal, okay, oh, come on. And on the plus side, there were a few places in the game that I thought were really creative. Like, I thought the dungeons were well put together, and I really, really enjoyed the desert area in the game, because they had this time travel mechanic of being able to open up these kind of little pockets of the past where you could see everything would come back to life and become lush and green. And there were some parts of that I thought were really striking and really just, you know, they were fun. They were really fun. There were times where I kind of forgot about the combat and just was having fun with these little puzzles and kind of got into it a little bit.
Not me.
Nope.
I was bored. I was just like, oh, what now? Okay, this again. Okay, where do I point my slingshot? Let me look around. Okay, here. Up, got to throw the damn beetle out again. Okay, fly around, little beetle. It felt so formulaic.
Yeah, I think it's a really good game for young kids, and I know that's going to aggravate people, but I think if you've got young children, this is pretty safe, and it's going to eat up hours and hours of their time, and like Jeff is saying, you know, you can go back and play it again, and it's going to be harder, so there's an extra challenge for them. And, you know, it's just like, you know, they're going to be running around and swinging that controller around. They're going to tire themselves out, so they'll go to bed at a decent hour for once so you can stay up late and do something fun yourself. You know, it's just that as an adult, yeah, I don't know, man. I can't get into them. I've tried, man. And look, I like the new Mario that's out on the 3DS. I think it's great. It's not a Nintendo knock. It's just that there's something about these storylines with Zelda that just, they just kill me, man.
I disagree that this is a good game for children. It's teaching them to be swordsmen, and it's teaching them to be terrible swordsmen. Terrible, terrible swordsmen. So if they ever find themselves in a sword fight, they're fucked. Also, we're going to have a bunch of kids, if this catches on, jumping off of rooftops and buildings and whistling and thinking they're loft wings. And then you know what's going to happen, Kevin? We're going to have a bunch of dead kids splattered all over the pavement.
How is this bad? How's that a bad thing?
Point taken.
I get to see it on Fox News all the time, and, you know, just, I So okay, well, I mean, it sounds like neither one of you guys really had much enjoyment out of this game. I could say that the game kind of eventually wore me down to the point where I kind of liked it. I mean, I think if you're a hardcore gamer, or I hate that term, but if you're more of a controller kind of gamer and you're interested in taking a look, it's maybe worth a rental. But if you're a big Zelda fan, probably full price. You probably already own it anyway. What do you even listen to this for, hardcore Zelda fan? You already beat the game 3 times. You're just
you already swallowed your tongue and had some sort of seizure in a fit of apoplectic rage.
Yeah, you just want to tell us how wrong we are and how much better you are than we are. So that's fine. You are, but we just don't want to play your game anymore.
Right.
Well, I don't know, Jason, Kevin, what do you guys think? What's your final verdict here?
I mean, listen, you can't go wrong with renting it to find out if you're going to be into it or not. So I mean, I definitely don't think that the game is mechanically a failure. The controls are good, and there is a game here. It is long to get going, but for me personally, there's better choices out there. So I mean, I would rather be off playing, like I've said, Skyrim or any game that came out the past year other than this game. But I don't think that the game deserves a negative review. I just think it's not for me, so I just give it a rental.
Fair enough.
I'm going to say borrow it. Don't put any money into this. It's just, I think it's boring. It's repetitive. It's got terrible controls. I hated the controls. I never could get the hang of them. And I just kept thinking, this might be kind of fun with a regular controller, but with the Wii controls, it was just a pain in the ass. So I really couldn't stand it. So yeah, borrow it.
You know what, though? I was thinking when we first put out that video, somebody in the comment section made a really fantastic suggestion about how to spice up Zelda. And it was a really great idea about having a Zelda game where Link kind of looks at himself and realizes that he's caught in this endless Inception cycle of fighting Ganon, rescuing the princess, getting his horse and his boomerang and his bomb and that sort of thing, and has to break out of this and say, "Fuck you, princess! I'm going to open a Wendy's in Detroit," something like that.
No, I want a Zelda game where he wakes up, he's all scruffy and hungover and everything. He's in his 40s, and then Zelda comes in and everything, and she hasn't aged. And then she gets swept away by Ganon, and he's like, this shit again and again and again and again.
He just calls up Mario. Dude, you will never guess what happened. Oh, did your princess get captured? Yes. Again.
Why? Because it's the motherfucking Legend of Zelda. Here we go now, I'm an old man and this cave is my home. Take this, it's dangerous to go alone. Now journey across a spooky land. You hold in your hand a sword that shoots laser beams. Won't you feel like a man, dressed up like Peter Pan, on a quest greater than your dreams, then your dreams, please me, demon, go Link. From here to over there, you'll find Ganon's land. Come on, it's your destiny. Trust the hero inside.